The Easter you celebrate may not be the one you think it is. For centuries, Easter has been hailed as the cornerstone of Christian faith, the moment death was conquered and a new era was born. But what if the story we know today was carefully sculpted from fragments of older myths, forbidden texts, and political agendas? Before Easter became the festival of resurrection, it was something else, something ancient, powerful, and unsettling, a story too dangerous to survive unaltered. In this journey, we will uncover secrets buried under centuries of dogma, explore the origins hidden in forgotten scriptures, and reveal how Easter's true meaning may have been rewritten to serve forces far greater than faith alone. If you believe that the truth about history matters, subscribe to our channel and join us as we dive into the forbidden origins of the real Easter. Long before Christianity emerged, civilizations across the ancient world celebrated the death and rebirth of gods tied to the cycles of nature. In Sumer, Inanna descended into the underworld and returned. In Egypt, Osiris was murdered, dismembered, and resurrected by Isis. In the Near East, the goddess Ishtar, whose name echoes Easter, symbolized fertility, renewal, and cosmic balance. These myths weren't isolated. They were echoes of a universal theme. Death was not an end, but a transformation. When early Christian missionaries spread their message, they encountered deeply rooted pagan traditions. Rather than erase them, they adapted. Easter's placement during the spring equinox, the symbolism of eggs and rabbits, emblems of fertility, all reflect the blending of ancient rites with new theology. Easter's timing, symbols, and even its language betray these ancient connections. Rabbits, eggs, and spring rituals stem from fertility celebrations honoring the goddess of dawn and rebirth. Over time, these layers blurred into a single tapestry of belief, masking the deeper currents underneath. Thus, the resurrection narrative, while unique in its details, stands atop a foundation laid by countless generations long before Jerusalem or Rome. Not all account of Easter's mystery made it into the Bible. Dozens of early Christian texts were deemed heretical and destroyed or hidden. Among them, the Gospel of Peter, the Gospel of Mary Magdalene, and fragments of the Gospel of the Hebrews offer strikingly different versions of the resurrection. In the Gospel of Peter, Jesus emerging from the tomb is described in cosmic, otherworldly terms, accompanied by beings of colossal size, a scene far removed from the subdued versions of the canonical Gospels. It hints at an event so supernatural, so overwhelming, that words barely contain it. In the Gospel of Mary, the emphasis isn't on a literal bodily resurrection, but on spiritual awakening and gnosis, secret knowledge leading to inner transformation. Mary herself is portrayed as a leading disciple, the bearer of hidden truths. These texts suggest a broader, richer, and far more mysterious interpretation of what resurrection could have meant to early believers. Why were these narratives silenced? Perhaps because they offered a path to divinity without the need for centralized control, a direct experience of the divine that threatened emerging church hierarchies. The result was a narrowing of possibilities. The vibrant garden of early Christianity was pruned down to a single, heavily guarded path. Even within the accepted Gospels, traces of conflict and uncertainty linger. Mark's original Gospel ends abruptly, with the empty tomb and terrified women fleeing in silence. No resurrected Jesus, no triumphant appearances. Those were later additions, added to smooth the narrative. Matthew, Luke, and John each present resurrection stories that vary significantly. Different numbers of angels, different women at the tomb, different locations where Jesus appears. Small inconsistencies, perhaps, but they reveal that the early communities were grappling with mystery, not recording simple historical fact. In some accounts, Jesus appears in bodily form, eating with his disciples. In others, he walks through walls, appearing and vanishing at will. Is he flesh or spirit, mortal or divine? Such ambiguities hint that resurrection was originally a mystical event, interpreted through different cultural lenses, before being codified into dogma. When scriptures were canonized, these tensions were not erased, only buried beneath layers of theological explanation. But if we listen carefully, the fractures in stories still whisper a truth far more complex and far more human. In 325 CE, Emperor Constantine convened the Council of Nicaea. It was a turning point, not just for theology, but But for history itself, the Roman Empire needed unity. A fractured Christianity, with its competing gospels and interpretations, threatened that. So leaders chose one version of truth and buried the rest. Easter, with its powerful symbolism of rebirth and victory over death, became a tool. It reinforced imperial authority and offered hope to a crumbling world. Elements of ancient solar worship, fertility rites, and mystery cults were blended into Christian doctrine, crafting a religion that could appeal to both pagan and Christian audiences. By merging divine resurrection with imperial power, rulers could claim divine right to rule. Easter became not just a celebration of faith, but a political instrument. This manipulation extended to timelines, symbols, and language. Even the date of Easter was aligned with the spring festivals of old, maintaining the illusion of seamless tradition. Behind the glory of the resurrection lies a far darker story of manipulation, censorship, and conquest. A story where faith and power became inseparable. What if Easter's original meaning was never about a physical event, but about something internal? Early Christian mystics spoke of a second birth, a resurrection of the soul, not the body, a call to transcend the material world, to awaken the divine spark within. This idea was dangerous. It empowered individuals directly, bypassing the need for priesthoods, rituals, and state-sanctioned intermediaries. By focusing on a literal resurrection, the church shifted the emphasis outward, onto belief, dogma, and obedience. The inner resurrection was buried, replaced by external ceremony. Mystery gave way to doctrine, and with it, humanity lost a profound path to spiritual transformation. Today, echoes of that ancient truth still linger. In forgotten gospels, in whispered traditions, in the silent spaces between the lines of Scripture. Perhaps the real Easter was never about tombs or miracles, but about awakening, a journey inward, a confrontation with death, and a rebirth into something greater. And perhaps the true resurrection awaits, still hidden within those willing to seek beyond the surface. If this exploration resonated with you, if you believe truth matters, subscribe, leave a comment, and share this video. Help revive the stories that were never meant to die. This is the real Easter.